Hello, welcome to another edition of Chaos Craft. I should show the logo that I sketched up for this one on my iPad Pro, but the dang Apple Pencil just went missing. So, sorry, let's keep that one to myself, but not happy about that. Where'd it go? Chaos Craft. So, more Chaos Engine logo. So yeah, that's kind of the Chaos Engine logo. I can probably post the video of me sketching it at some point too. Um, but yeah, that pencil's gone, and I don't know who walked off with it, but we should get back. I doubt anybody listening to this walked off with it. So, nothing crazy going on right here. You can see we got a bunch of Generation 1s. I just pushed out a fix. We got a couple guys hiding down here. Yeah, these guys are pretty dead. I just pushed out a tweak to the brain builder. I think you guys remember last week. I pushed out one that did a sanity check on nodes, so you could look at what we got here. See who's alive and kicking right now. It looks like Jay Singer's produced some offspring. So here we go. This is one of his offspring is walking forward theoretically, potentially looking left. So it also clears control states if it's on any of those types of blocks, or if it senses. Interesting. Can't highlight that. Well, if it's on any of those type of blocks or entity moved. So you can see the nodes firing off inside of here. If we could find it, it's somewhere in there. And you have to keep in mind that the see B1W. What are we looking at? We're looking at B1W. There we go. The B1W is somewhere around here. These guys look like they're pretty stillborn, but either way, I digress. I'm getting all off sidetracked here, trying to track these guys down. B1W. It's trying to move. I pushed out earlier today. We had a thing where I made it so that there was a 50% chance, which is basically this line here, of it would load a bot versus create a new bot. But what was happening is bots were falling off that were Gen Zeros, and so we had a bunch of Gen Zeros in the backlog of bots which weren't getting used up. So I basically said, if you're Generation Zero, we're always going to use you, which uses a little more load time, but we're talking like blink of an eye still. But that way, we'll clear out the backlog of Gen Zeros, and then if it's a higher gen, we still have a chance of spawning a new Gen Zero at that point. But it won't fill the database with Gen Zeros, which is annoying. Additionally, I went in the Brain Maker and I gave it this ability to do inactive versus random with the nodes. So we've generated right now. Previously, we were decaying nodes at random, which is kind of the way I think it ought to be. But at this point, I was able to switch it over so I could just say, okay, destroy the bottom 5, the least 5 used nodes. So like, if this guy here, we saw, a couple of nodes being used, but let's just say the look left never gets used, and I do track the activation count. I don't know where that number's coming from actually, but the activation count, and that's not fully accurate, but actually, so it looks like it has gotten created before. Place block has got an activation count of 707, so it's attempting. So this guy should show up in my leaderboard for attempting to place blocks. So let's see if he does. I'll refresh the leaderboard. J Singer S, J Singer R. I wonder if it's failing out before it actually gets to that. But evidently the J Singer S's will try to place blocks. J Singer S. And that's actually not even a generation thing anymore. I had to make that neutral because the usernames were getting too long and getting used up, and it would stop it. But as per usual, we're somewhat stuck on our place blocks. and we've got some issue here where you don't see those two guys in the place block attempt. So I can show you the exact lines of code where it says place block. So this place block attempt, for those of you familiar with asynchronous code, in order to call smart place block, which then calls the callback, which then calls place block, where there's no other place where that's happening in this whole code. Just those two little bits. And I'm still somewhat befuddled as to, confused as to how the heck that's happening. But nonetheless, we'll figure it out. So equips are happening more often. I got equip attempts is something I just released, and that is actually only running on the bots running on this computer here. I haven't pushed that out to my other bots yet. And you can see right here, everybody's teetering out. Besides Adam Zero, who is immune to aging. We get up to 301 a lot of times with the generation zeros and a couple generation ones. We have gotten some generation 2s in here that made it to 114. I should track cause of death or cause of being marked inactive. But we're looking for, if you guys remember from my previous fitness function, and again, if you guys haven't seen this before, go back to the beginning and watch some of the beginning videos. Stuff, we're getting crazy advanced now. We're getting all types of fancy here. But if generation's greater than 2, then it requires that they dig, but none of those guys are required to dig. They'll spawn up based on the fact that they've traveled more than 20 feet. They'll spawn children. And that's why they managed to live so long in the first place, and they definitely spawn some children. But I found out that my function for choosing to load and not to load was not quite right. So we fixed it. You see a lot of people get up to 8, which means that they made it past age 7, but they never traveled the distance. So that's what you're seeing all these people here. And then this guy's probably getting killed around 15 or 16. Oh, look at the level 3 there. Because let's see, at 15, if they haven't dug, then they're going to get knocked out. So that's what happened to those guys there. These guys here. So we've got some good news and we got some bad news. Good news, we'll stop generating so many of these zeros that sit there and do nothing. And then we'll focus on the more active bits. So we'll have more active guys, but they'll have less wide width, depth and behavior. So that's where we're going at. Singer v0.6. He must have traveled at least 20, or else he'd be dead pretty soon. Let's look at him again. Let's go back and this is him. We have Singer v0.6. Take a look at his stats. See what he's got for stats. He's only loaded once, which is nice. Distance travel is 29, then he gets stuck on a hole. Health, inventory, yeah, he's going to be kind of boring because he's just sitting there in that hole. For some reason, I managed to pull him out. Looks like he's just digging his way down. Oh, I pulled him out. Aren't I a nice guy? And now he's just going to wander into a cavern. I wonder if I could make it so they could sense light and dark. They can sense time of day. They can't really sense light and dark at the moment, but I'll have to take a look there. I probably can do something with that. That'd be kind of cool, and they might not dig down to the caves. But these guys are all first gens, and they're going to be dead within 15, 20 seconds. Actually, no, I got it up to 7, don't I? So 7 times 15 seconds, they'll be dead.